everyone. Welcome all to a new session on molecular biology. We all know that genetic information of every living being is stored in its nucleic acid. Now we are going to see the way in which the genetic information is stored, read and executed. Genetic code and mechanism of translation. We already know the purpose of DNA chromosomes as carrying the information for building the proteins of the cell and the RNA as the intermediary for doing so. How is it possible a molecule made up of just 4 different nucleotides joined together can tell a cell which of the 20 odd amino acids be joined together to form a functional protein? First of all, we must understand the genetic code and its features. This genetic code is a pattern of storing genetic information. It is an arrangement of nucleic acids on mRNA which is translated to amino acid sequences. Translation, as the word implies, converting something like a code or any unknown language to an understandable format. The amino acid sequences makes sense. They are in fact modified to fully functional proteins. Now, let us deeply study about genetic code. Francis Harry Compton Crick, a British molecular biologist, played a crucial role in research related to revealing the genetic code along with Sidney Brenner. He is widely known for the use of the term central dogma. The central dogma of molecular biology states the flow of information is unidirectional. Discovery of genetic code. Genetic code is the nucleotide base sequence on DNA and subsequently on mRNA by transcription, which will be translated into a sequence of amino acids of the protein to be synthesized. The code is composed of codons. Codon is composed of 3 bases, for example, ACG or UAG. Each codon is translated into one amino acid. Deciphering the genetic code requires determining how 4 nucleotides such as adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine could encode more than 20 amino acids. Since there are 20 different amino acids that occur in proteins, there must be more than 20 codons to include signals for starting and stopping the synthesis of particular protein molecules. The 4 nucleotide bases such as A, G, C and U in mRNA are used to produce the 3 base codons. A single base cannot be a codon because for 20 amino acids we have only 4 bases. Pairs of bases cannot also be a codon because there are only 4:2 or 16 possible pairs. Francis Crick and Sidney Brenner determined that the DNA is read in sets of 3 nucleotides for each amino acid. Triplets of bases are possible because there are 4:3 or 64 triplets, which is more than enough. There are therefore 64 codons which code for the 20 amino acids, and since each codon codes for only one amino acid, this means that there are more than one code for the same amino acid. Marshall Warren Nirenberg, an American biochemist and geneticist, identified the codons that specify each amino acid. Nirenberg's initial goal was to determine whether DNA or RNA copied from DNA was a template for protein synthesis. Experiments with synthetic RNA. Nirenberg and Heinrich Mattei, a postdoctoral fellow from Germany, began their experiments by studying DNA and RNA molecules. In DNA, the nucleotides are adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. In RNA, uracil replaces thymine, the basic molecular unit that are strung together to form long linear molecules of DNA and RNA. Nirenberg and Mattei set out to create a cell-free environment that would let them examine how the minute mechanisms of RNA actually work free of the normal biological processes of cells that could obscure molecular activities. Cell-free environment. A cell-free environment is created when cell walls are broken down, releasing the cell's contents. The remaining cytoplasm can still synthesize protein when RNA is added, allowing the researchers to design experiments to determine how RNA works free of the complicated biological processes that could shroud molecular activity. After working with several possible organisms to serve as models, they selected Escherichia coli, a common bacterium found in the human colon. They added the E. coli extract to 20 test tubes, each containing a mixture of all 20 amino acids. In each test tube, one amino acid was radioactively tagged, a different one in each test tube. The reaction was observed by monitoring radioactivity. Incorporation of a hot amino acid would form a hot protein. The poly-U experiment. Synthetic RNA made up of only uracil units were added to each of the 20 test tubes containing mixture of all 20 amino acids, and the one containing phenylalanine showed unusual activity. Nirenberg and Mattei concluded that traces of uracil had directed the synthesis of phenylalanine. Synthetic RNA made up of multiple batches of 3 units of uracil directed the synthesis of an amino acid chain composed of only phenylalanine. One 3-unit batch of uracil could be read as UUU or poly-U, which was a 3-letter shorthand method or code word for identifying phenylalanine. They recognized the poly-U as the messenger. Their experiments proved that messenger RNA, which transcribes genetic information from DNA, directs protein synthesis. Nirenberg and Mattei concluded that synthetic RNA made up of a chain of multiple units of uracil instructed a chain of amino acids to add phenylalanine. The uracil chain or poly-U served as a messenger directing protein synthesis. The experiment proved that messenger RNA transcribes genetic information from DNA, directing the assembly of amino acids into complex proteins. Thus, the key to breaking the genetic code, molecular biology's Rosetta Stone, had been discovered. After Nirenberg and Mattei discovered the first word of the genetic code, scientists were trying hard to translate the unique code words for each amino acid, hoping to read the entire genetic code of living organisms someday. Following the poly-U experiment as a model, Nirenberg and his colleagues recognized the nucleotide combinations for the incorporation of other amino acids. The codes for other amino acids were identified, for example, AAA for lysine and CCC for proline. One unit of a triplet code was replaced with another nucleotide yielding a different amino acid. In one example, synthetic RNA containing 1 unit of guanine and 2 of uracil caused incorporation of valine to a growing polypeptide chain. In 1964, Nirenberg and Philip Leder, a postdoctoral fellow at NIH, discovered a way to determine the sequence of the letters in each triplet word for amino acids. By 1966, Nirenberg had deciphered the 64 RNA 3-letter code words for all 20 amino acids. The language of DNA was now cracked and the code was expressed in a chart. Introduction of the word codon. In the late 1950s, the biochemist Sidney Brenner coined the term codon to describe the fundamental units engaged in protein synthesis, even though the units had yet to be fully determined. Francis Crick popularized the term in 1959. After 1962, Nirenberg began to use codon to characterize the 3-letter RNA code words. With one of each of the 4 nucleotides occupying a place in a 3-letter codon arrangement, Nirenberg quickly deduced that there were 64 possible combinations of 3-letter codons. In 1964 and 1965, Nuremberg's postdoctoral researcher Philipp Leder developed a sophisticated filtration machine that helped the team determine the order of the nucleotides in the codons. This development speeded up the process of assigning code words to amino acids. By 1966, Nuremberg deciphered all the 64 RNA codons for all 20 amino acids.